Coral, test strips, rainwater. How does it all apply to each other? These little test strips, if you've got one of those big, massive, expensive test kits, they're even more accurate. But for me, these are just quick and easy. Gives me a good indication of mainly the two things I look at. The carbonate, the KH, and the alkalinity. I've noticed if they drop in the GH, but especially them two, if they're in the yellow, then I can run into some issues. Now, I've tested the Wanamensis recently, realised why I wasn't getting a good survival rate out of them. Even though I was getting a massive amount of hatch rate, they weren't lasting. I thought it was more to do with the temperature. Since testing the water, I'm leaning more towards that was the issue. So I needed to add coral. All the tanks have coral in there, but eventually that gets depleted and gets used up. So when I'm just topping up with rainwater, I'm not doing massive water changes for that reason, because if I did, I'd have to use a lot more coral all the time. So sitting it in there, letting it just slowly release into the water column, slowly buffering the pH and also raising those readouts. For everything else, I'm not worried. That top one is nitrate. I'm not worried about nitrates. I've had that off the charts on many tanks. Never really affects the fish. Growth rates sometimes, but as far as health, they're fine. And then the plants take up the rest. You can see these ones were struggling. Since then, I've added better lighting, and I'm constantly scooping out the floating plants. So has its place, and that's my coral of choice for now. And you can see in the tanks, I've even got a base layer in these tanks for that reason, but I found with the base layer, it suppresses a lot of its ability. I've got one in a bag here as well. Obviously I leave the snail shells in there, just anything that I can keep natural in there I leave. And using rocks such as your Syria stone and things like that really does help if you don't want to have to keep adding coral. And I think in the future, every single tank will have at least one Syria stone for that reason, just so I don't have to be on top of it as much. And yeah, that's my video. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Goodbye.